Listen, if you don't record, I am suing.
For what?
And also, I'm going to repeat what you said since I am recording, so that way whenever you do sue him, we'll succeed. So if Mac doesn't record, Elijah and myself will sue Mac, and it'll be called Elijah and Tucker v. Mac.
Yeah.
And then I will countersue you for everything you're worth after I make sure that you own your company.
But also, wait, is that a threat? Is that defamation I just heard? Well, then I'm going to countersue your
what about you,
countersuit.
Sue
How about
me
that?
for the virginity corner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, defamation doesn't work if you're defaming yourself.
No. The only thing I'm taking from Elijah is his cats.
I'll kill you. Sorry, that sounded like a joke. I want to make sure I'm absolutely clear here. I'll kill you.
I'm getting him put on a list to where he can never own another animal again.
I'm just hearing more things to put on our defamation lawsuit, Elijah. I'm hearing more.
It's coming together. It's really coming together.
That's slander, sir.
Slander.
Slander the highest, I
I
say.
hardly know her.
All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
MotherGoose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck, standing by.
Lock S foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast, where I sit with two slanderous co-hosts. I'm your host, HouseDog. Slanderer number one is my good friend. He's been around for years. He abandoned us last week. That's why there was no show. So everybody, if you're looking for someone to blame, it's the Lowtech Tuck himself.
Yeah, man. Also, too, you called me slanderous and then your very good friend. So is this now perjury? Because
Moving
you're
on.
lying?
Slanderer number two. He's hairy. He's handsome. He's got a virginity corner. He's got two cats hanging around. The man swimming in pussy. The one and only MotherGoose.
Hello, everybody. Also, I would like to be totally clear that it was HouseDog's idea we not record last week. If we're throwing fingers, if we're throwing blame, it was HouseDog.
That was also awful sweet, HouseDog.
Yeah. He didn't want his friend to miss out on this really cool episode.
I'm gonna start calling him House Puppy because he's so sweet. What
All
a
right.
guy. What a guy.
What
I
a
love this guy. This sweet little dude. Oh, man.
Well, today we are talking about Skeleton Crew Episode 5. You have a lot to learn about pirates. Guys, this one was really good, right?
This
Yeah.
was the episode that I've been waiting for the entire season.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this was insane. Also, too, just for the record, you boys know I love my space casinos. And we got another one.
We got another
That's pretty
one.
cool. Got another one. And then
I
also
mean, this
one.
was more of a spa.
Well, yeah, no, that's fair. I'm taking what I can get. But like the other thing that I noticed too, and this is just kind of random, just a random thought I had, was that SM-33's disappointment is very similar to, like, theoretically, if you took a real pirate and you showed them like the Caribbean,
Yeah.
where they used to hang out.
Yeah.
Like if you showed like a pirate from like the 1700s Aruba, I think they'd be very upset. Just like
changed a lot.
SM-33. And I just think that's funny.
Yeah, the lead up to that, I was like, that's one of the things that I've enjoyed about this show is that, like, you never really know where we're going. Like,
Right,
last
yeah.
week, we thought we were back on AT-AT and that it was some time displacement thing until we figured out it wasn't. We get this whole setup for this, like, treacherous planet. Like, I was imagining something, like, dark and stormy, and we were going to be, like, spelunking and stuff. And then we wind up at, like, Inn of the Mountain Gods or something for the rest of the episode.
And then we end up spelunking anyway.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of interesting.
We got our spelunking.
I remember every twisted peak. That's my favorite SM-33 line of the whole
Give
thing.
that to me again. That was too good, Tut.
I remember every twisted peak.
Chat, I think this guy might have voice acted for SM33.
I think Tuck might be Smee.
Maybe.
I think Tucker's been hella famous this whole time and hasn't told us.
Or also, maybe we just played that one game recently, and maybe I'm just, just still caught up in it. I don't know.
He's
Hell
still
yeah.
in character from Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I think so.
And good for you. It's a fun game.
Arr, Mr. Dog.
Tuck's the only one that plays with me. He's the only one that role plays as hard as I do in that game.
And also, I use the right terms. I say starboard and port and all that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
The crow's nest. Arr.
Really getting it.
Yes, sir. It's a good time. Or actually, no, I'm sorry.
I would like to talk about
What?
Giant Cthulhu monster.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, I
and
love
how
that
he's
guy.
chill as hell.
Yeah, well, it was Catholops.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catholops. That guy was awesome.
Was that a reference to Cthulhu or not?
I think
kind of
so.
figured it was.
I think anything large with tentacles can be stretched to be a Cthulhu
Well, and also his name's
reference.
like CTH, Catholops, just
Yeah.
like Cthulhu. I think it was kind of a.
How much large tentacle things are you watching, Elijah?
Skeleton Crew.
And see if these you got the Kraken.
Sea of Thieves has a Kraken.
Also,
I've been
maybe you
getting
watched
into-
Pirates of the Caribbean recently with your nephews at some point.
No, but I have
I was
been
trying to
watching
help you.
Ben 10, and Vilgax has like a tentacle face, right?
I love Ben 10. OG Ben 10.
I don't think I've ever seen it, dude. Don't think I've ever seen it in my life.
Different.
What?
Shame him.
Shame. Everyone together. Shame. Shame.
I'm sorry, my family
Shame.
made me watch sports. I didn't get to.
This poor little nerd. But no, I love Catholops. I love the subversion of expectations. Like the kids walk in, there's this big scary tentacle monster, and you're like, oh god, is this gonna kill the kids? And then it cuts back and they're just like telling him a story.
Yeah, and he also ends up being like the troll on the bridge, so to speak, where it's
Yeah.
like in order to let you cross, you have to entertain him. That's it.
And Jod has another fake name that we find out in this episode as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
The man is up to 3 fake names. Oh, there was so much good stuff with Jod in this episode. So
Yeah.
much. I just don't want to jump to a bunch of things.
No.
What do
I
you
mean,
guys think that, I mean, this is kind of the same time that we learned his fake name. The bounty hunter chick that they meet right at the beginning.
Her name's not Penix, but it's something like that. It's
Something
Oh, I don't care about
Yeah.
her name. I was talking about her
well,
species.
maybe
Do you
we
guys...
do.
yeah, no, she was interesting. Like, especially like the bright white eyes. That was weird.
Yeah,
It's a
her skin
species
color
we've
gave
seen
off like
before.
Night Sister vibes.
A little bit, and especially
Like-
her haircut too. It looked almost tribal, kind of.
Yeah, like definite Dathomiri vibes. Maybe not Night Sister,
So-
but Dathomiri for sure.
Her name is Pocket.
Pocket.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, Dash Zenton. That was his fake name.
Right. Which I almost thought whenever they said Dash that they were going to say Rendar and give us a little old EU tip of the cap there, but they didn't. Maybe the Dash part was, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe any Dash Rendar fans out there? The poor
Anybody?
man's Han Solo.
You know what's funny though? I always get him and what is it? Dexter
Jetster?
Yeah. Dexter I always get like whenever someone says Dexter Jetster's name, I always think of Dash Rendar in my mind.
How dare you compare
I know. And then I have to think about it. I'm
Rendar to the
like,
man.
wait a second.
the legend of Dexter Jetster?
Oh yeah, no, I love the guy. I do. I just in my mind those two names are really similar and I can't explain why.
Obi-Wan.
The guy, I saw a meme one time that was like, this guy gives definitely 100% the best hugs in the whole galaxy. And I was like, that's
Hell
probably
yeah.
true, dude.
So, from what I found, her species has not been confirmed, but a lot of people think she's an Umbaran, which I agree with. They've got them creepy white eyes and pale skin as well. A lot of the ones that we've seen, though, have been bald, but I think that's just a choice. Oh, no, this one has hair.
Well,
Well, I
that
thought all the
explains too why she's
Umbarans we
partially
saw-
bald.
Back in Clone Wars, were all males during the Umbaran arc,
Yeah.
during that
But-
war.
Also, think about, I think it's Palpatine's assistant, right? That's all in white and bald.
Yeah,
I thought that was a woman, but I could be wrong.
it is.
Bald!
Well, no, it's
Bald!
like speculated that she was actually like Palpatine's lover too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Could be his son's mother, maybe.
Palpatine had a son.
But also his son's a clone, though.
Yeah, isn't. Oh wait, sorry.
Oh yeah,
His
I thought
son's
it was
a
his
clone.
daughter.
Rey's parents, wasn't that Palpatine's son, or was it a failed clone of Palpatine?
Well, no, he's Palpatine's son, but he's a clone. Like it's kind of like a Jango Boba thing, where like Palpatine had a tube baby with no parents that is a clone
Baby.
that then got married and had Rey.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry to get us on this tangent. But yeah, I thought she was really cool as well. I love how there's like her and Jod's conversation where it's like, yeah, totally, we're not going to betray each other, but like obviously both of them knew exactly what was going to happen.
And also too, just the subtlety of she realizes that he's in a really vulnerable situation and like makes the choice to walk up to him, and then also is like using this situation to bring out that Jod is lying.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's like using her questions and using his responses to illustrate to the lady that he's lying.
Yeah.
And by the lady, I mean the woman checking them in at the hotel.
Right. I also love that she takes a minute to warn the kids as well.
Right, that he's a dirtbag, which any person that has interacted with Jod and the kids, they all had the same reaction. They're all like, he's a dirtbag, don't trust him.
Yeah. My second favorite moment of this entire episode is when that waiter is feeding the hut. And he, like,
Yes, I'm
picks
so
him up
glad you
and
brought
goes
that
to
up.
Eat him.
Oh, yeah, he's like,
The
no,
little guy's
not
like,
again.
Not again.
No, sir. No, sir, not again. Sir, no.
No, sir, please.
Oh, it's so funny. I really
That was a
love what
great
this
move.
episode did with a lot of the background characters.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get my moment where Elephant Boy gets decapitated, but it didn't happen.
You love him, dude. He's a nice boy, man.
You're a softie. You would have
And he
been
would have looked a lot
sad.
nicer with his head rolling around the cave floor.
He's not even
Neil's
the
a
tallest
sweet
of the
boy.
kids.
Also,
He's
too, you
not
were the
even
one.
the tallest.
You were the one who was being all sweet earlier. And
Yeah.
what's wrong with Neil, man? Why you gotta bully him?
See,
He's a sweet boy.
listeners, HouseDog's a big old softie. He just is too afraid to admit it.
More slander.
No, he loves Neil and he doesn't know how to say it.
He loves
That's what it
Neil
is.
and he loves his friends and he loves cute little robots.
I love death and destruction.
Yeah,
I am Ozymandias, destroyer of worlds.
duly noted. But we still think you're a sweet little guy.
Yeah.
I'll kiss you.
There it is. How do we feel about Jod going to disguise the kids as wise elders?
I thought that was a great move because I didn't know how they were going to do that, which going back to the beginning of the episode again, whenever they're coming into the planet's surface and the two patrol ships go next to them and they're like, welcome to Lunipa or Lanipa or whatever it's called.
Lanupa, I think.
Lanupa or whatever, I can't remember. And they're giving their little spiel over the intercom and they're like, failure to comply will result in your death. Have a great day.
Yeah, and then the kid starts shouting whenever he's saying that they have a reservation. He's like, be quiet, and then he's like, is that children? And he's like, yes, and then the guard guy's like, please note that children are not allowed on the resort property. Thanks, have a good day. Like, he just says it again. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is even better whenever the pirate gang comes. And because I was wondering how they were going to deal with that, and they just immediately blow them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real. These guys are the equivalent of like mall cops. What were they gonna do against pirates?
I mean, I'm glad to see. I said it last week that I wanted more pirates being pirates. Mm-hmm. And we definitely got it this episode in a lot of different ways, with the pirates coming to kill Jod and Jod himself.
Yeah, and the old Captain Reynolds and all his traps too.
Yep. What was his name? Was his name Tack or something? Or Tech?
I think it was Tax Reynolds. T-A-X.
Burt Reynolds? Ryan Reynolds?
Burt Reynolds. You know, it's kind of funny you saying that out of your mustached mouth. You look kind of like him.
Captain Burt Reynolds, the infamous pirate?
This guy has a mustache.
Burt Reynolds.
You have a mustache.
I don't know. Chuck has a mustache.
Yeah, wait a minute. Everybody has a mustache here. Hold on a minute.
That was the joke.
No, all of the pirate traps are really great. Like the anti-gravity one that just pulls you into spikes. Mm-hmm. I like
that
how
was so cool.
Yeah, I like whenever Star Wars mixes with like traditional things as well as like what you would see in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Like the laser that decapitates people. Super cool. The anti-gravity field that goes up, just up into metal spikes and kills you.
Yeah.
So cool. Like, why wouldn't it go into like a laser blender or something more futuristic? Nope. It's anti-gravity into metal spikes.
Yep.
Which is great. And
Why
then
do lots of work when little work works?
exactly. Why say lot word when small word do trick? They see. They see. There was that one. The acid pool. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a cool trap too, where and then like them working it out of like the most precious gift is life, and like they were looking around to try to decide who was gonna be sacrificed, and I was like, kneel. Be the hero. Be the hero, elephant boy. Be the hero.
You're just saying that because this sacrifice would mean nothing, and you're a jerk.
We didn't know that the lava field
something.
wasn't. And then them finding out that it's actually gold, and it's the last credit they have. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I really liked the way that pool like drained and everything, and it almost looked like it was like a bath at one point. Like it wasn't always an acid pool.
Yeah.
Because it was like tiered, and there was already a body in there, which we can assume is from dying to the acid. But the way that the body was laid out, I was like, that almost looks like an old, like Roman pool, you know, like an old Roman bathing pool almost.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and also one thing I kind of thought was interesting too is that it drains and it doesn't go past the layer. It's got an independent drain. Which also begs the question, where does it go? Does it go into a reservoir and do they reuse it? Or does it just go somewhere random?
That's a good question.
I would assume so, because once we get into the treasure room and we're looking for the data port and everything with everybody in there, which all the traps were great, especially the food table one, where it's just the thing that falls out with the roasted chicken or whatever.
That's Bantha roast from Holiday Special. Yes.
Is it a bantha roast? Did they say it was a bantha?
Well, it looks like a beef roast, so I'm just throwing that out there. Holiday
could
Special's
be,
canon.
Could be roasted tip yip. We don't know.
Well, it's probably plastic.
Probably.
Thanks for that, deteriorate.
Nice. It could be metal. You don't know.
That's true. Could be painted.
It could be Durasteel instead of plastoid.
Could be resin.
Or it could be straight up like the most preserved bantha roast you've ever heard of. You know, maybe like McDonald's made this bantha roast, and you don't know.
Why not just take it a step further? Say it's Beskar.
Maybe it is.
That's how he hides it. His chunk of Beskar.
Maybe it is. But whenever Smee is accessing the records Do y'all remember everything the old captain says before Jod shuts it off? I feel like it's pretty important stuff, but I don't remember.
He reveals the gist of it is that he reveals that Atten is an old Republic
Mint.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the last remaining one.
Yeah, I don't think any of our theories were any close to that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. The only thing I can think of, I think we were right about it being not what it seems, and that like their intentions aren't necessarily good.
I think we said it was Old Republic too.
Well, it states pretty early on in episode 2 that their credits were Old Republic credits. Sorry.
But being an Old Republic mint, one thing that also I think might be interesting is since it's old, like, is it worth more because it's actually backed by gold, so it's not a credit?
Yeah.
Because they don't call it credits. They call it, what do they call them? Proofs? Or they call them,
Dataries.
Dataries, yeah, that's right. And so I wonder if those aren't credits and they're like the old, like, ancient style of money where it's literal pieces of gold.
Yeah.
Which, in episode 1, whenever Qui-Gon's haggling with Watto, he doesn't call them dataries. He calls them, like, dactarits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I assume that in Star Wars that there's quite a few denominations of money, but
right.
That's true.
It just seems interesting that they look so gold. They come from an ancient mint. Like, just to me, I'm just kind of thinking they might be just straight up precious metal, just pieces.
Yeah, which means there has to be
agree.
like some sort of gold vein on Atten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's also why they were talking about too that it's basically infinite because you can just print more whenever it's backed by a real thing because it's not credit. It's actual money, which is kind of, I don't know. That's what I think's going on, and that it would be basically infinite.
And then Jod tells him to quit talking.
That's enough,
Yeah.
Shmi.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Back to the original thing about the acid pool, because he tells him to reactivate the acid because the pirates are now trying to get in there with them.
Right. They made quick work of the resort security.
And then they all got presumably killed. All the pirates did by the acid. Was Wolfman there? I can't remember.
No,
I don't think so.
He's there talking to Pocket to get the bounty going, but I believe that's Pocket's crew. It's not, what's his name's?
No, it is, because he said he was sending 2 ships to help her.
Yes. It's
I just couldn't remember if Wolfman was there.
the leader of the group we saw in a previous episode working for Wolfman.
I was trying to remember if Wolfman was there, which means he would be dead. But now we can presume that he's lost, maybe half his crew or maybe a third. Their ships were also really cool. I like the way they were painted. Like, they seemed like pirate ships, the way they were painted and everything.
Yeah.
I really like it whenever ships in Star Wars do have, like, not just really cool design, like manufactured design, but whenever they have, like, a cool decal on them, too. Like in Mando, whenever they captured that one Empire ship and they put the cool decal on the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was sick.
Whenever they reclaim it, whenever the Night Watch reclaims it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we can talk about that moment where he tells Smee that he invokes his right to challenge the captain.
Yeah.
And also it's interesting too that Smee, like, he clearly understands that this is a moment where you might feel regret. I'm not arguing that he feels it because, I mean, he's still willing to kill the children, but
Right.
like
He does tell Fern sorry.
He does tell her that he's sorry, which is also kind of interesting.
Yes.
As far as how his programming works.
So earlier in the episode, they put the restriction bolt on him, and he tries to kill several workers at the resort.
I'm
and
so
fails.
glad you brought that up, Elijah, because that was one of my favorite parts throughout this entire episode. Anytime Smee would get pissed off, and he'd immediately like start raising his arms to like go choke somebody out, and he would just keep repeating the word and shorting out.
Yeah. initially I was going to be like, I don't know, guys, seems pretty sentient to me. But I think I have to at least, I stand by my point that droids are sentient, but I at least have to give it to you guys in this one. He sticks by the pirate code and would have totally let John kill these kids because that's what the code says.
Or also, if John had said the word, he would have done it himself.
Yeah,
He would
exactly.
have killed the kids
Yeah.
if he had to, yeah.
Yeah. So
And then also would have been a cold, unfeeling machine about it and wouldn't, like, feel bad about it at all.
Limb from limb.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyway, I'll give you guys this one.
SM-33 is a cold machine.
He's also
win.
thousands of years old.
I mean, how did you guys feel about seeing that lightsaber in the treasure trove?
Good.
I thought it was, I mean, and also the design of it is pretty Old Republic looking, which was also kind of cool.
It was really sad. This episode did a really good job because Wim and Jod had that really good moment last week together whenever they were on the ship, and he was crying because he's a child, and he's like, "You have this incredible imagination."
Oh, that's this episode, by the way.
Is that the start of this episode?
Yeah, which I'm
It's
glad
near
you
the
brought
start,
up.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was last week or this week. Yeah, and he's like, you have this incredible imagination. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be the person in your storybooks, but you just have to decide that. And he
Yeah.
starts like reciting Jedi teachings to the kid,
I wanted
but
to
they're
talk
like
about that.
they're like pirate Jedi teachings. He's like, train yourself to let go of everything because nobody really matters, and all that matters is you.
Right.
Well, yeah, like, my favorite thing is the first thing he says is he's like, yeah, like, your parents and, like, those you love, forget them.
Forget about it.
He's so serious. I was like, he's like, they're attachments. They're not good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from the pirate bit, which he added, was that almost not exactly what Qui-Gon said in episode 1? Talking
Not
about
forget
attachments?
them. He didn't say to forget. Like,
No,
he didn't
no,
say to forget
like-
Shmi.
Like I said, not the whole pirate aspect of it, but the way Jod talks about attachments before the pirate bit feels very Jedi.
Well, the first thing he says is forget them.
Okay, after the pirate bit, it feels very Jedi. Listen, I didn't watch the episode again this week because that would have made my third time watching the episode, and I wasn't feeling it.
Fair enough.
Third.
Fair enough.
Third time, huh?
No, no.
Shame.
I know you're not.
No, he does like start reciting like the beginning teachings that the Jedi give to their Padawans. Because there's the attachment one, and then he said some other stuff in there too. And it's all like, okay, so this guy definitely was trained at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt.
Yeah. Well, and then also the interesting thing, too, is at the very end, whenever he picks up the data pad with the Force and hands it to Wim, and Wim says, like, wait, if you're not a Jedi, how did you do that?
Right.
And then he just winks at him and then walks away.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting. So,
Tis interesting. I mean, the Jedi teachings do sound a lot like the Sith teachings. There's just a little bit of a couple words that are either omitted or added.
well, because I mean, the
wiggle room there.
Sith are a perversion of the Jedi. I mean, that's what they are. So.
Perversion
Yeah.
of the Jedi.
Jod may not be a Jedi.
Who knows?
He might not be.
Well, I'm really glad you brought up that moment, though, because it does make the ending of this episode a lot more impactful with Jod betraying the kids. And did we think he was going to hurt Fern? How are you guys feeling?
I think
No.
he was going to do what he had to do.
I think Jod is a con man, and I don't think that he would. And also, I think he calculated beforehand that Fern was going to yield before he ever actually had to do anything.
Yeah, I thought maybe as far as they'd go is like he'd cut her, like slash her arm or something.
That's kind of what I thought too. Yeah,
But yeah,
I don't think
I
he's
was
gonna
not
kill her.
worried for her safety.
No, and also I think that that's also how he's written. Like, they keep showing instances of, yes, you can't trust him, but also there's several instances where, like, while he is, scum, he's not the kind of scum that's going to hurt and murder children. I just don't really think he is.
Yeah.
I think he'll con you out of all your money, and I think he'll leave you on a planet by yourself and take the ship.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's killing kids.
I don't think we've seen the true Jod yet. I think this was the first instance of seeing who he might be. And I think that moment on the ship was another point where we saw who Jod really was. Like, I think we've seen pieces of who Jod is as a person and everything, but I don't think we've really gotten the full character yet.
Which I agree with. I mean, it is only episode 5 of 8, so we still got quite a bit to go. But another thing I think is that they are leading us into Jod, despite this betrayal, still being a main character and not necessarily a bad one. I could also see Jod redeeming himself after this.
But not every story has to be a redemption story.
Which is true, but I think that's more likely where they're going with this. That Jod's screwed up, but he's not bad.
Maybe. We'll just have to see. Who knows? Was the start of this episode also where we see the dad at work, or was that last week?
Oh, yes. They're trying to get a message out to the kids.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we covered everything, because you know how it is. Some weeks seem like a lot happened in this episode too, and it was mostly on that spa planet and everything, so the beginning is kind of hazy for me. But yeah, I love him with the robot. Whenever the robot comes over, he's like, "Sir, there's been a power surge at your station. I need to check it." And he gets up real quick and has the thing behind his back. He's like, "Show me your hands." And he does the one hand, then puts it back and does the other one. And he's like, "Show me both of your hands right now."
My man's couldn't think about sticking it in his back pocket. He was too stressed out.
He could. He's not one of those people.
Sweet Wendell.
Same.
Sweet Wendell. Also, too, the other thing is, like, his pants are tucked into his boots. So, like, he also could have just, like, if he didn't have back pockets, just drop it down your pants. Like,
yeah.
Wim's dad is not a espionage type of guy.
And also, to be fair, his name is Wendell.
Yeah.
Which is a sweet little guy name.
He's
There's
just
no
a sweet
bad
little
guys
guy
named Wendell.
who wants to find his son, and that's all that matters.
That's it. We need a bad guy named Wendell right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is one somewhere. My absolute favorite part of this episode, though, is when Wim walks out with the lightsaber and he holds it proudly.
Yeah.
And he turns it on upside down and it scares him.
Yeah.
So funny.
I liked it because I know that, Star Wars and Jedi, like, they go together, right?
Yeah.
It's like peanut butter and jelly, right? But sometimes it's nice to have those stories without it. And we've proven that it can work. Mm-hmm. Like with Andor.
Yeah.
Which, the second season of Andor, I've seen some TikTok clips. It seems like it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, the trailer was good.
Not to get us off track. So we've proven that element does work, and that's what I've enjoyed a lot about this show too, is exploring the galaxy, not full of the overarching Jedi versus Sith story, but something else. And I was kind of hyped for that moment, even though I was like, I kind of want to stay away from Jedi and the Force and everything. But seeing Wim stand there, and I was like, he's finally getting his moment where he's not just living in his storybook, he's living out his storybook, and then he ignites the saber, like you said, and it just flies across the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ending of this episode, though, I have to say, probably one of my favorite endings to an episode of, like, Star Wars TV so far.
Yeah, it was really good.
No, I mean, like, those last, like, 5 seconds.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Where Jod picks up the lightsaber, and we hear it ignite, but it's black screen, because everybody wants to know, what color is the saber?
Well, we know it's blue.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was blue whenever the kid picked it up, but we saw in Acolyte that you can bleed a crystal real quick.
Yes.
Right, but that's
not, like,
but that's with
instant
extreme violence or like an extreme
hatred.
a very extreme feeling, which I also don't think that's his character either. I think the way that he's such a good con man is by being extremely calm.
Mm-hmm.
I think they cut it the way they did for a reason.
I think it's because they know people on the internet are going to talk about it.
Just
Another good
like
point.
us.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I have this really good idea that's gonna get Animal Squadron specifically talking.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. It's probably that dude that wants to buy the podcast.
Probably that dude.
That dude from like years ago.
No, we got a new one.
Yeah,
Oh.
actually, I was telling Mac before pod that he reached out like a month ago, and obviously it was a scam. But he reached out again a couple days ago and hit me with that, "Hey guys, did you get my email?"
What did he even offer?
No, essentially, it's just the come work with us and we'll get you making so much money on your podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sounds very real. Yep.
Even if it is legitimate, it's a pyramid scheme at best.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not something, it's not the culture we want to build. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll be at the top of the pyramid, boys.
Yeah,
It's not the culture we want to build. Nope.
This is the best deal we could get. We're at the top of it. I don't think you guys are seeing this for all it's worth.
I don't think this guy understands how pyramid schemes work.
I understand we'll be at the top of it, which is exactly where you want to be.
I don't think that's where we're gonna be, buddy.
Ah, ye of little faith.
Well, boys, anything else on this episode before we end it?
It was a great episode. I'm really excited to see where we end up, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, Elijah already knows, but
I would no, never. I don't know what you're talking about.
You do know because you're a traitor.
Traitors.
It'll be
the
interesting.
Kremlin.
to see how the rest of this season goes. I mean, 3 episodes left, and I would say that this was by far my favorite episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think at least for the first 5, this is probably my favorite episode so far as well.
I don't know how it's going to end. Elijah does, but we don't.
I am the all-seeing eye. Bask in my knowledge.
Just real quick, shout out to the moon during this episode. That was it. The Banking Clan.
Oh, the Banking
that's
Clan.
right.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the moon. Like,
Oh yeah, because I pointed
in
out
the
that
sky.
was confusing. But no,
I was
no,
like-
I meant Moon the aliens.
I was like,
Yeah.
all right, Tux had a long week at work. He's losing it, but
He's
nobody's
snapping a
saying
little
anything.
bit.
Keep it together.
I'm going to steal the moon.
Humans this, humans that. Who cares? The moon is watching.
First, we go to the moon. Second, we steal the moon. Next, I sit on the toilet.
But it was good to see that they not only survived the Clone Wars, but the Galactic Empire, the Galactic Civil War, and are still kicking.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean,
and they're
they
still
got
the
all the
Banking
money.
Clan.
They do have all the money.
Well, they think they do, which is also kind of the other thing that is interesting. Because I wonder if at Atten, if that's one of the main reasons they hide it, is because the moon, like the Banking Clan, would be kind of a competitor.
What if the moon control Atten? What if
That-
that's who the supervisor is?
What
Maybe.
if the moon were the ones that destroyed the other mints?
I could believe that. That's actually probably more what I think. Yeah,
A little
that they're an
corporate
enemy.
espionage.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody would know about secret ancient mints, it would be Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, if a dude was likely to kill his competitors, I could see it. I could
Yeah.
see it.
It would be him.
Yep.
Well, audience, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you want to be a part of this conversation, you can email us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. And if you could leave us a review wherever you're listening, that would be amazing. For the Animal Squadron, this has been MotherGoose.
HouseDog.
And Lowtech Tuck.
Goodbye, everybody!
Adios.
Tuck, say the Twisted Peaks thing again. It was my favorite thing. Bye, everybody.
I remember every twisted peak, wouldn't it? Something like
That's
that.
right. Have
Yeah.
a great week, everybody.